welcome back to my, I was gonna say bedroom, welcome back to my bedroom, hello, but welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so honored to be spending this time with you again, and I haven't done a mental health update video in a while, so I thought that I should do that, man. I just haven't actually had a conversation with you, so that's what I want to do today. I'm going to put a little trigger warning, so if you get easily triggered by talking about self-harm and suicidal thoughts and things like that, then maybe just click out of this video. I know I get pretty easily triggered when I hear conversations about that, or even when I'm talking about self-harm. It's like sometimes will make these images flash in my head because I was addicted to self-harm, so when I talk about it, it's like this like weird addiction or weird like calling to do that. It's like peeping in this doorway of like darkness or something, when it's like, whoa, no, like I'm closing that door. But sometimes, you know, when I get triggered, that's kind of what it feels like this little door opening. I feel like I'm always happy. I feel like I'm also the happiest sad person, but ever since a few months ago, I really connected with the forest. I really felt this complete oneness and connection to myself and to nature, and this complete gratitude for all the bullshit that has happened in my life, like totally appreciating the bad stuff and my upbringing. So for the past month or 2 months, some bad thoughts have come up. I don't even want to call them bad thoughts, but self-harming thoughts have come up, and at least once a week I've been having suicidal thoughts, and I've been having a lot of anxiety. And I think the reason for that is just because I'm putting myself in situations that I normally would run away from, which is basically being around guys, being around the opposite sex and going out and being social and not like hiding from all these things. I was really happy like after I connected with the forest at eForest, and I was just so content. Then I met like this beautiful man, and I started to feel some things come up, and instead of being like, oh, this is bad, this is scary, I have to run away from this, I'm like, no, why am I feeling so afraid? And I met like the most special, kind, empathetic, understanding human being, and I'm really on this amazing journey with him. But so many things have come up, so many fears, and pretty much all of my little things that I normally brush under the rug have just been activated around this person, because it's like being in love really forces you to see yourself, and the quality of love you have for yourself will filter into every relationship that you have. It sounds bad to say like, oh, this person brings up all this fear in me, or this person triggers me, but it's not even actually the person. It's just I have all these triggers, I have all of these fears, and I'm going to have to face them eventually. Like they're sitting there, they're just lying there, and I could just avoid men and continue my life like safely celibate and not interacting with the opposite sex, but that's not what I want for myself. And I know that I am worthy of not being afraid of men. I'm worthy of feeling confident speaking and interacting, and feeling like my voice does deserve to be heard in their presence, which is something that I struggle with. And this is me being completely vulnerable and open about my fears and insecurities. But yeah, I do have this fear of men, and I do have this really lifelong conditioning of feeling like my voice doesn't matter as much, or the only reason I'm there is to be sexually objectified in some way. And so whenever I'm around men, I just don't want to speak, and I haven't had the best experiences with them. So it's really, really scary. But I'm like grateful that I'm in this position where these things are coming up so that I can deal with them and so that I can get through them. And that's what I want to talk about in this video, is like how I'm coping and dealing with these things as they come up that will take me to my highest self. My triggers as of right now, my things that have really been flaring up this anxiety and flaring up the occasional like suicidal thought that I have like once a week, which is honestly really good compared to most of my life. I mean, I started having these thoughts when I was really, really young, and having visions and plans and attempts like my whole entire life. And so I feel like having like a 1 minute thought of this once a week is so much better, and I'm just being so open with this. I really hope no one tries to diagnose me. I've been like dealing with this for a long time, and I just feel like I deal with it in a pretty healthy manner. And the only reason that I get to that point of like I just want to end my life is when I'm super disassociating, and when I have so much anxiety that I just don't know what to do with that energy, and it's like overwhelming. Like I just kind of feel like I'm drowning for a second, and that's when I'm just like, ugh, I just want to like get out of this body so that I don't have to feel this pain. But those thoughts are really rare, and I acknowledge them and I acknowledge that they're there, and I'm like not giving into them. I'm not like indulging them, which is what I used to do, and I would harm myself, I would cut myself because that would be my release. But now I breathe, which sounds so random, but a lot of times when these things come up, I'm like in social settings, and it's not social anxiety, but it's just get anxious when I'm around men, and I get scared and so much fear comes up. So it's usually in social settings, and I've been able to navigate this and like be able to breathe and take a step back. And when I connect with myself and my breath, and I kind of close my eyes and I enter my own little vortex, and sometimes I will do this thing where I inhale and exhale, and as I'm breathing, I imagine inhaling this beautiful, white, peaceful, light energy, and I'm exhaling the anxiety, I'm exhaling the fear, I'm exhaling these stories, these tales that I've gone through, inhaling the lightness and exhaling the darkness. And as I do this, I like to kind of do this little body scan with my hands, and I feel how every part of my body is feeling. And as I'm doing this, I become so mindful of every part of my body that my hands are kind of touching in this little like laser kind of way, and I just become very mindful of how each body part is feeling, how my chest is feeling, how my heart is feeling, how my boobs are feeling, how my stomach is feeling, and I just kind of go down how my organs are, go down to my hips, go down to my waist, and I just become very mindful, and I kind of really reconnect with my body, and that just allows me to exhale. Even just doing that then made me feel so much better. I feel like it's about integrating these moments of immense peace that I've had, and immense connection and oneness and understanding with this life, integrating that into the moments that I feel triggered and afraid. And with my partner, this has come up so much because he is a male. You guys know I'm bisexual, so I feel like, you know, I should say that. And so these things come up for me, and it's really still hard for me to identify with him, like this beautiful, peaceful, understanding, compassionate, loving human being that I have so much unconditional love for. But he's also a man. Like, I just feel like I haven't met a guy like him ever before. A person who totally listens to my boundaries and is, when I speak, actually listens to me and isn't formulating some answer to respond to. He's just so hearing and feeling my words and like so receiving every sentence that I speak to him. And so I've never had that before, and it's like hard to make that connection, like man and then also like safe. Like I'm safe, I can be safe around this person, man, and he's understanding, man, and he listens, man, and he nurtures, you know. It's like I'm really reconditioning years and years and years of this fear story with men, and it's scary and it's awesome. And with him, I have just been super open, and I think this is important to talk about because I know there are a lot of women who have had trauma around men and relationships, and men and women. It goes vice versa. It doesn't matter like what their gender is or if they have any gender at all, but it's just like this embodiment or this idea, like this whole masculine like idea is really what triggers me. So with this person, I've just been super open to what I'm feeling, and like I'm doing right now. So this might seem like kind of random or out of the blue, but I've just been so present with my emotions and my fears and my like suicidal thoughts and my self-harming thoughts. Like last night we were at this party, I was with all these guys, and they were so friendly and they were so cool, like these artists and his really close friend in the tribe, spiritual light workers and stuff like that, and totally like amazing, beautiful people. But just being around this masculine idea, this masculine energy makes me quiet, makes me, you know, not want to speak, makes me be just the observer, which is totally fine, but I don't feel fully in my power. And I don't know how, but at some point we started talking about suicidal thoughts and like psilocybin. Even just like the bringing up of suicidal thoughts, it was this doorway that opened, like I just said in the beginning of the video. It's like it kind of crept up on me, and I was feeling like very quiet throughout the whole night because I was surrounded by men, and not even that many, like 5 dudes who were just like hanging out, and I was, you know, hanging out and kicking it with them because I was already in that space of like feeling this anxiety and feeling this like wanting to run away from the situation and like be on my own. It kind of triggered me, and I started having these self-harming thoughts, and to me they just kind of come in visions, like flashes in my mind of me harming myself, and like trigger warning, blood dripping down my wrist, and it's kind of like trying to like blink it away. No, like I don't want that thought to be pervading my mind right now. And so when those things come up, I tell my partner that it's happening. I'm like, I'm having I'm having self-harming thoughts right now, we'll just breathe. He'll just breathe with me, and that's kind of what we decided, because I was also at the park like a few weekends ago with him and his best friend, and they were like chatting it up, and I, once again, just like, which feels so pathetic, but I just have to be honest with, I just get triggered around men, and I was just feeling very quiet, and I had so much anxiety, and then after we left his friend, I like couldn't even function. Like my partner asked me one question, and I just started like crying, and I just like couldn't even speak or form my words or think. I was like disassociating as a result of all this anxiety. So a few days later we decided, hey, when you start to feel this way, like you can feel comfortable letting me know, and we can just go and leave whatever situation it is and just breathe together. And it was such an important breakthrough for me to be able to do that with someone else. So that's kind of like our plan of action. It's really cool having these things come up and like telling the person that I love that I'm afraid of them sometimes, or that I don't feel comfortable or safe, and it's not them, but it's just the whole masculine ideal, and to have them be so supportive and understanding and like willing to heal with me and be on this journey with me and listen to me. We were sitting outside on the curb of like Bushwick, and we're just breathing, man. Something really fun that we did was we started tracing my snake. So an inhale, and I know it sounds weird to just be like, oh, you're just gonna breathe. How does that help? How does that help make your self-harming thoughts go away? Well, it's just me connecting with my body, connecting to the present moment, which is a safe environment and nothing is threatening or harming me now, and acknowledging the pain like I'm doing now. Like I am so openly speaking about it, and I accept that it's there, and I accept that I don't always accept myself, but I don't have to indulge them. Like I see you, I feel you, anxiety, I see you, I feel you, self-conscious, self-harming thoughts. I see you there. I accept that you're there, but I will not indulge you. I am safe now. I am worthy of love. I am worthy to feel pure bliss and joy and happiness. I don't have to keep telling myself this story. And this is making me stronger. You know, that's kind of like what I think as I'm breathing and just saying hello to my fears and to all this shit, and not repressing them in any way. Being in complete honesty with yourself about how you're feeling. It just really helps you flow through whatever it is. And so that's what I've been doing whenever I feel afraid. You don't have to be with someone to do this. You can totally do this on your own. The only reason that I'm saying that I'm with my partner doing this is because normally I would let this anxiety and this fear stop me from being in a relationship, or stop me from going out and like talking to guys, completely stop me from interacting with the opposite sex, which is crazy because that's like half of the population. It's such a relatable feeling. Like I'm not embarrassed about how I feel at all, and that's why I wanted to make this video, which seems maybe a little dark or maybe a little sad, but it's just the human experience, you know? So yes, sometimes I do still have self-harming thoughts. Sometimes I do get to that point where I'm like so self-conscious or so afraid to take up space that I feel like maybe I shouldn't even be here. It's just a habit in my mind to think these things because it's been that way most of my life. So I'm really working on this thing that I've been talking about a lot in my reality, is reconditioning. Reconditioning the way that I see myself and the way that I see like heterosexual relationships and the way that I see the masculine, basically. Yeah, and even the way that I see my anxiety too, which it has changed so much this past year. Like my anxiety, I'm just totally like greeting and saying hello to, and not getting anxious because I have anxiety, and not being angry at my anxiety. It's just like I'm like shaking hands with it, you know, but not like giving it a warm embrace. I'm just like, I see you, stay in your lane. Like I acknowledge your presence, but I'm gonna let you pass through. I'm not gonna like hug you and let you like smother me type thing. So yeah, just reconditioning, man. I'm just changing the way that I see things and the way that I speak to myself. I'm not like always super in love with myself. I struggle with it a lot, and that's honestly something that I'm really struggling with, is self-love. And that's why I've been making all those videos, because it's advice that I'm telling myself, and I just want to channel that through to you guys. And sometimes I do look in the mirror and I like feel grotesque and I feel disgusted and I want to avoid seeing myself, and that's just there. That's just how it is right now. It's embarrassing sometimes. It feels so debilitating. Like, why am I feeling this? Like, why am I struggling with this? Does everyone struggle with this? And what would my life look like without anxiety? You know, like, sometimes I'm asking these questions and like wishing for things to be another way, but I'm also just so present with myself, and it's really, really cool to be that way. Every like dark period or every trauma and trigger that comes up now is like, this is another opportunity for me to grow. So thank you. I'm going to surrender to it, you know? And that's what I've been doing, and I just want to be honest. I feel like I have come such a long way that I'm not taking action in these thoughts, and I'm just acknowledging them, and that I'm sharing them in the moment with those that I love, so that I stay safe, and so that I keep honoring myself. I think that that's really good progress. So accepting of myself, accepting of the fact that I don't always accept myself. And it's a beautiful journey, and I'm so grateful for it. Also wanted to thank you guys so much for having the courage to be in complete truth with where you are and how your journey is, and to seek out questions and to share your stories with me. I think that's so powerful and important. Like, you don't even realize how amazing it is that you can be completely honest and candid about how you're feeling, because for so long I struggled to identify and be okay with the fact that I was depressed, or that I was suicidal, or that I cut myself. Like, for so long I just wanted to hide that and not show the world that, and it stunted my growth so much. And the moment that I was honest with myself about how I was feeling and the state I was in, I instantly began to heal. And so that's why I'm just so proud of you for being able to do that, and for being able to acknowledge, I'm feeling depressed, I want to feel happy, I know I'm worthy of happiness, what do I do? I am so proud of you, and you just have to keep on doing the work, man. Keep on doing the breathing, keep on knowing that you're worthy of the joy, of the happiness, and not being angry at the sadness, and knowing that it's all good, man. It's like all valid. Yeah, these are just my methods to get through things, you know, open communication, being honest with myself and others, and breathing through things and not brushing things under the rug, no matter what moment it is. If I'm on set for a photo shoot, which I was a few weeks ago, I was feeling super self-conscious about my body image. I straight up told everyone there, and they were like, girl, what are your love languages? Like, how can we help you through this? You have a rockin' body. There's no reason for you to feel this way. Like, they were so supportive. And also when I'm at parties or like in social gatherings, I can still speak up and say how I'm feeling. Not hiding the anxiety, not waiting another moment to wallow in it, you know? Oneness, open communication, speaking from my heart. This fear story is so old, and I'm just so ready to keep focusing on gratitude, and knowing that gratitude can take me so much further than fear and giving into the fear. Pretty much every single day I feel so confronted with the choice between fear and love in my interactions and in my own actions all the time. It's like, oh, I could cancel on this. I could not go to this cool event because I'm anxious. I could not do all these things. Or I could say yes, and say yes to life, and I could break through these walls. When I was going to the Hamptons a few weekends ago, I was so petrified and scared to go because I was going to be in this house with two men, and it sounds always weird when I say that because they're kind, loving, nurturing, like happy, beautiful people, but I am afraid of the masculine image. So I was so anxious to do this and be in this house and not be able to like run away, and I was almost not going to go, and I was going to choose the fear over the love, and instead I went and I connected with my partner's friend, and at the end of the weekend I just had so much love and compassion for him, and I breathed through so much anxiety, and I was so proud of myself for having done that. It's such a little thing, and it might sound so weird, like, oh cool, like you went to the Hamptons for a weekend, like how is that hard? But I was afraid and I did the thing that was making me anxious, and after it just made me realize, wow, I can really do this. Like, I so got this, and access the love that's on the other side of this fear. It made me feel so strong and empowered. That's just part of my journey right now, and I know it sounds maybe silly, maybe not like a huge breakthrough, but for me that was a really good form of healing that weekend. Yeah, I guess that's my little ramble and rant on mental health right now. Yeah, I'm not on any medication. I have gone on medication like for depression I think twice in my life, one time in high school and one time in college for about 3 months. Not doing that again. It just did not help. It did not serve me, and both of the times it made my suicidal thoughts and attempts way worse. So just putting that out there. Thank you for your kind words, because Even when I didn't post for like a week on YouTube, I was getting DMs of like, are you okay? What's going on? And so I really appreciate that. And when I'm not posting, it's usually because I'm like doing some work on myself, and it's usually because I am feeling anxious or sad and I'm not ready to like put myself out there on the platform to be judged, because, you know, sometimes I can't process that while I'm also processing my own self-judgment. So yeah, just thank you guys so much for all the unconditional love, man. I feel it and I accept you and I love you too. And to my haters out there, like, I love you too. Thank you for existing. And I'm just so grateful. And I just want us all to keep doing this work on ourselves. I want us all to like feel our worth and to get past this and get through this and level up and just be so powerful. Like, I really want all of us to like step into our power, you know, like step into ourselves fully. And that's what I'm working on. And I can totally do that when I'm alone. I can totally do that when I'm with women, but in the face of men, it's much harder. And that's what I'm doing. And like, I'm excited about this journey. I'm excited to be doing the work. I'm excited for this moment. So thank you guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!